broken promises. 23 million people are struggling to find work today. The unemployment rate in Florida is 8.8%. Foreclosures, houses underwater, the highest poverty rates in a generation. Half of all college graduates are either unemployed or not working in the field that they studied for. College graduates should not spend their 20s in their childhood bedrooms looking up at fading Obama posters, wondering when they can move out and get on with their lives. The president was recently asked, do you have any regrets? Would you have done anything differently? He said, I need to talk more and tell the American people a story. So he needs to do more talking and we need to do better listening? Is that the idea here? No! Friends, we have suffered from no shortage of words in the White House. What is missing is real leadership in the White House. The question is this: if we stick with the same leadership that we had over the last 4 years, how do we expect anything to be different over the next 4 years? It won't be. And that's why we're giving the country a clear choice. Real leadership. That's what the Romney Ryan plan for a stronger middle class is all about. It's about getting people back to work, higher take-home pay, giving the kind of leadership this country deserves. I have so rarely seen in our history a moment where the man in the moment meet so well. This country needs leadership. And you know what we saw last night? We saw a man introduce himself to him. He brought us into his family. We saw a man of faith, of integrity, of achievement. Look at everything that Romney's done with his life. It's success, it's hard work, it's achievement, it's leadership. This is a man, when his country asked him to help turn around the failing Olympics, dropped what he was doing, turned it around, and made us all proud and saved the Olympics from disaster. This is a man who has proven he's a job creator. He created tens of thousands of jobs. He started businesses. He turned around struggling businesses. And by the way, being successful in business, it's a good thing in America. That's not a bad thing. The record of contrast could not be more stark. As governor of Massachusetts, Mitt Romney worked across the aisle. He didn't demonize people on the other side of the aisle, and he balanced the budget without raising taxes. He lowered the unemployment rate. He increased household income. He improved the credit rating of Massachusetts. What have we seen under President Obama's leadership? Higher unemployment. A downgrade of our credit for the first time in our history. Take-home pay is down by $4,000 over the last 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very clear. This is our moment. This is the chance where we have a choice. Do we want the failed leadership, the stagnant economy, the debt crisis, the welfare state, or do we want that opportunity society, that American idea where everybody can make the most of their lives and define happiness for themselves? That's the offer we're offering. That's the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank the people of Florida for their warm hospitality. Warm in many ways. You know, we have this rule in Wisconsin, if you turn 65, you gotta move to Florida for the winter. That's what my mom does. Now, it's really an honor right here to introduce you to the man who's meeting the moment, to the man who is gonna be the leader of our country, to the man who is sharing himself for us, to the man who has proven in his life that he knows how to lead. We're going to turn this around. We're going to get this done. We're going to get people back to work. We're going to turn the American idea back on. We're going to save this country and its promise for our next generation. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to elect the next president of the United States. His name is Mitt Romney, and that's this man right here. And he's going to be the next president of the United States.
touched our hearts, Ann and my hearts, and Paul and Janet. The welcome of the people in Florida is something we will not forget. This was a big week for us, and you made it a very special week for us. People all over the state getting behind our effort and coming out and supporting us, and of course many are commenting on, well, one of the speeches I'll never forget, and that was by the lady in red back here. You know, I mentioned in my remarks last night that one of the things I wished I could do would be to wake up with a pile of kids in my floor in the morning, or go to bed at night with our kids coming in and talking to us about their problems, 5 little boys doing that. And I got back to my hotel room, and my daughter-in-law, Jen, said, we can arrange that tomorrow. With no further ado, the best mom, wife, and grandmom I know, my sweetheart, Ann Romney.
Something that I said in my speech too. I hear your voices. We have an awesome responsibility now, and I am so pleased to know that I have a guy standing next to me that has done amazing things in his life. He's turned around difficult situations. He's brought economic prosperity where things thought was impossible. I've seen him do it time and time again. And I said in my speech, and I'll say it again, give this man a chance, and he will not fail. We need to give America a chance, and it's going to be an exciting ride, and boy, Florida's going to have to help us bring it home. So thank you all so much.
She's something else, I'll tell you. And you got some great people here. I so much appreciate.
Dream active, full equality. Dream active.
You know, some of the people I recognize today are our next senator. There's a great guy over there, Representative soon-to-be Senator Connie Mack. Connie, thank you for being here. Chairman of my campaign here in Florida. It's great to have Adam Putnam here, your agriculture commissioner. And my other chairperson, your great Attorney General, Pam Bondi. I know they're out here speaking just a moment ago, and I appreciate their help and their support. It's meant the world to me. And Florida gave me the votes I needed to become the nominee, and I thank Florida. And now one more task. I need to have you do the work on November 6th that gets me elected the next president of the United States. That has to happen here in Florida. And for that to happen, you're going to have to go out and find a person or two who voted for Barack Obama. I know they're here. All right, they're not as visible as they used to be. You can see some of the glue on the back of their bumper sticker, where it used to be. And so you can find them, but you find them and convince them to get on our team and to help us, because we want to be held accountable for the promises we made last night. And the night before, Paul Ryan and I both spoke to the American people about what we'll do if we become president and vice president. And I contrast that with what the president said 4 years ago when he was candidate Barack Obama. He got up and made a number of promises in Denver with the Greek columns behind him. He doesn't remind us of the Greek columns because he had said that he would cut the deficit in half. Measure him on that. How'd that work out? He doubled the deficit. He said that he would be measured in a different way than other people are typically measured. He'd be measured by whether he created jobs or not. He hasn't. He said he'd be measured by whether people would have rising incomes or not. They don't. Incomes are down in this country. He said he'd be measured by whether people would take the risk to go out and start a business. We're at a 30-year low in new business startups. Almost every measure he described, he has failed to perform upon. And the reason for that is not that he wasn't trying, in my view, it's he was pulling in the wrong direction. He didn't know what it takes to actually make the economy work. Paul Ryan and I understand how the economy works, We understand how Washington works. We will reach across the aisle and find good people who, like us, want to make sure this company deals with its challenges. We'll get America on track again. And we've laid out, you've heard it many times, a 5-point plan to get this country going. We're going to go after these things. Measure us. Hold us accountable. Do the same with the president. Look, you're making a choice as to who the servant will be of the nation. Who is the person? Who are the people who will lead this country and do what you want to be done? You listened to the last guy running for president. He laid out what he would do. He was unable to do it. Time to give someone new a chance. Hold us accountable. Listen to what we have to say and say, do I want that or not? Let me tell you what I want to do. I want to make sure that every person in this country that wants a job can find one. I want to make sure that every retiree knows that their retirement is secure, that Medicare is there and Social Security will be there. I want every parent to know that their child will get an education that will prepare them for the jobs of tomorrow. These are things we're going to do by carrying out 5 critical steps. 1, we're going to get America energy independent by using our oil and gas. Number 2, we're going to open up trade, particularly next door in Latin America, but around the world, open up new trade agreements, and we will crack down on any country like